In the 2 years I've been here, I've always maintained an open door policy at the city barn. Don't have anything to hide. I think we've done a pretty good job of correcting a lot of things. We've been through 3 hurricanes and a major freeze and COVID, and we came through those good. I think I've got the barn pointed in the right direction. Still some work to do. All of you councilmen have my phone number. You have my email. You can text me. You can call me. You can email me. You can call the city barn and leave a message for me. And for the most part, all of you but one of you do that. Again, I have no problem with anybody who wants to come down there and be a part of the solution. But I have no time for anybody who wants to come here and disrupt. And that's what's going on here. And it culminated in the last meeting when I tried to get a lineman hired. And we all know how that went. So I'm asking, I asked for a private meeting. It was refused. So I'm asking for the council's help, and please put a stop to this because it's causing morale problems. You know, it's hard enough to keep the guys motivated down there without one of the leaders of this city coming and undermining. Specifically, things like coming down to the barn on a payday, telling the guys, well, y'all better enjoy that paycheck because that woman up there has got the finances so screwed up there, y'all not getting one next week. Is that something one of our leaders of our city, even if it's true, shouldn't come down as a leader of the city and tell that to the employees, because all it does is stir everybody up unnecessarily.
So when that was said?
You came down and said,
when? Get any employee you win.
You
Hold on,
You can be out where you want. First of all, I know my names have been in the paper.
Councilman Joseph, please, Ms. Brian, you have the floor right now.
So,
you will get a chance to speak.
coming out on job sites after hours, not even in his district, and questioning why I've got certain individuals on the job. Never called me about any of this. Not once. We're going to want to know why I have the mechanic out on the job site at night. Because I was down to one backhoe. And that one was on its last legs. So I didn't want to take a chance at 3 o'clock in the morning not being able to get the water on the other side of the viaduct. My call. I take a prudent call. And if I hadn't, and the thing broke down, then rightfully so, you guys would come out. I don't know where this took a turn because when I first got here, in fact, I complimented you.
The first day you got here, you was asking why I was going to the phone.
No, that did
Just
not
like
occur.
Just like they tell you stuff.
That did not occur. In fact, I complimented you about when all of the turmoil was going on with Mark Brignac coming after me, Nanny coming after me. I said, you know, through all of this, the guy that's dealt squarely with me up to this point was you. And then that just changed, and I don't know why. I have no idea. So I just don't need somebody coming down there and undermining what I'm trying to do now.
Well, I can say this. As long as I'm sitting in District 5, I'm going to come to the City Hall, and I'm going to go to the City Barn. That is a job that the people elect me to do.
And when I feel you're being disruptive, I'll make a call to the
Disruptive
chief
how?
of police to remove
I
it.
go to the barn, and I do not stop none of you guys from working.
Yes,
I did that since day one.
So, Miss, do you have anything else that Councilman Fishley has his hand up, or do you have anything else that you want to yield to Councilman Fishley?
I'll give the councilman fees.
The city council is a legislative body. We legislate the laws in the city. We're not an administrative body. I've been on the council for 25 years. I call you if I need to deal with the city, with the barn, and if I need to, you put me in touch with a supervisor. That is not the responsibility of anybody on this council to be there in the first place on a regular basis. Secondly, to make trouble. I'd like to make a motion that Councilman Joseph be censured by this council, for doing this repeatedly, which I know has been brought up more than one time. So he'd be censured by this council for being involved in administrative, situations where he has no right to be. That's my motion.
I have a motion, I need a second. I don't have a second. Go ahead, continue, anybody else?
Well-
Discussion? I do have something to say. So, I agree with Councilman Fugile, 100%. I think it's disruptive for our city councilman, because actually, we do make decisions to reprimand employees, and he is somewhat your boss. And for him to go to the barn and sit down today for 1 hour with one of our employees, you don't tell me that's disruptive? Why, how much do we pay our employees per hour that a councilman can take that time away from that employee working? That should be malfeasance.
So,
Councilman Joseph, excuse me, I have the floor. Councilman Joseph comes over here and sits down in these offices with these girls for hours at a time.
so do
Hours
they
at
stop
a
their
time.
work? So do they
So-
stop their work? So do they stop their work?
They
And
cannot,
'cause when I come here, I
they
come
can-
here to do, tell them, or, you know, like talk to the mayor or talk to Danielle when I got problems in my district. If I'm sitting in Danielle's office, I'm talking about stuff that need to be done in my district.
so when you're in other offices, you're talking about.
Okay, so why stop by Dina, sitting in the office right there? You don't know what I'm talking about with Dina. Dina is not stopping her work. Anybody that go in the office does not stop their work. This morning I went to the barn, I talked to Rap. Why? Because the doggone grasses in my district need to be cut. I understand it's been raining, but that's one doggone thing. The South has always got to suffer,
So,
while the North get the attention. You
You think it
understand?
rains more in the south?
No, it don't, I ain't talking about the rain. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking about. Just like you take callers from the South and y'all bring them to the North.
Wow,
There's a lot of things like that goes on. Wow.
yeah.
It's right.
So, you know, there is.
And look,
I
as long as I'm
totally
sitting in a council seat, I'm gonna do what the people need to be done.
With what?
I'm gonna do whatever I need to do for the people as long as I'm sitting in the seat.
I really wish that you would control yourself better than
It's
that.
not about control.
There's no, there's
You
no.
always want things to go your way.
so Councilman, can I ask you?
Brian, you got mad last meeting because they didn't hire the lineman. You slammed your dog on the phone right and you walked out. You walked back in. We don't know, you could have walked back in with a gun. You understand? A lot of things will happen. But yet you call a meeting, you want to meet with me. That's up to me if I want to meet with you.
So, can I ask you
You're
something?
the
Why-
superintendent,
so-
I'm the
so
council,
why-
that's up to me if I want to meet with you.
Why?
If I want to talk to you, that's up to me.
Everybody comes from here, when they need something done in their district, has no problem calling me and say, hey, I need this.
I don't have no problem calling you, but why I
You
can't go,
don't?
I mean, why I can't go to
You
rap?
come out of born, you don't even say hello, you walk right past.
Do I have to tell you hello?
No.
I don't have to tell
You
you hello.
think if you want something
I
done.
don't have to tell you hello.
Okay, that's enough.
Tell
I'm
today,
trying to talk to you.
Hold up,
What I
hold
wanna
up, I
do-
got enough of both of you, both of it.
I don't want to talk.
Both of it. Okay, first of all, Councilman, usually we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
Mr. Durham, can we pass an ordinance or something that stipulates, I mean, we don't let anybody go sit at the barn and disrupt. I don't think a city councilman should be, as I said, we're legislative
Man, we
body.
ain't gotta do none of that.
Excuse me.
When I go to the barn, I go to do business there.
Yeah.
I make a work order just like everybody else. Whether I call you or not, Rap got my work orders.
And that's not the problem I have, it's the
What's the
side,
problem?
it's the side conversations you have, that going down there just stirring stuff up.
Whatever,
And
Brian.
you know you do.
You just come up with that ever since this last meeting, now you got a problem with that.
I'll be my time.
Mr. Durham, please, okay, one more time, and you can go. You can go, you got it?
Stop that.
We understand? Okay.
So, any,
All right. We have a question on the floor.
Question from Mr.
After we answer this question, we're gonna shut it down because we're not gonna get anywhere with this. If we don't have a second to a motion, we don't have any backup for this. Go ahead.
What's the recommendation, Mr. Duran? The city council members have, various duties and responsibilities. It is not unreasonable for a city council, on one end, it's not unreasonable for a city councilman to personally investigate certain issues, if he's concerned that something's not working right, or he's concerned that something's not being done right, because he later has to vote on it. On the other end of the spectrum, no city councilman has the right to go and direct individual employees to do things.
That I don't do.
That, any request for services by city council or through department heads. If, for example, a city councilman was going to the city barn at 7 o'clock in the morning and staying for an hour once or twice a week, just shooting the bull at the guys, that's disruptive. And that kind of, an activity which is disruptive by a public official can be reined in by the other public officials, once it gets to the point that it's disruptive.
And what's your recommendation?
That would be through ascension.
Well, the more limited it is in dealing with a disruptive situation, the more likely it is that a court would rule that that was within the proper authority of the council. The less disruptive, if it's a situation that's not disruptive, then I think the court would probably say that it's not something that the council can do. And it's gonna be dependent on the facts of the cases. I was under the impression that there was it's been reported to me that there was a regular process of a councilman showing up at the city barn early in the morning when the city employees were getting their work orders and disrupting that process. If that did truly occur, that is something I think the council could lawfully restrict the area, at that time of the day when people get their orders.
Okay. So,
But I mean, you need to tailor it because each council member has, the right as part of his duties to investigate issues that he believes he needs to vote on, or he believes that he has a responsibility as a city council. You need to tailor whatever you wanna do, narrow it to what specific problem you're trying to solve.
Mr. Dunham, does the councilman, do the council members not have an obligation to follow the chain of command also in the normal routine, handling of business with
Well,
public works? I don't know that it's a hard and fast rule. To the extent that it causes a problem, then that's something that the council can address. If it's to the epidemic stage where it's causing a disruption of orderly activity of a department, then the council would be authorized to take action.
okay.
But
So what is your what is your recommendation? How should we do it? What's the legally right to do?
my recommendation is if you find there is one particular thing or a couple of particular things that are disruptive, then you have the authority to make a motion to prohibit that kind of activity by any council member in the future. But, like I said, you gotta be specific, it's gotta be aimed at a specific activity.
Councilman Johnson?
The thing is, who's gonna determine what's disruptive, and because what one may see is disruptive, one may not see that way.
How about the
So-
boss?
I'm sorry,
How about the boss of the barn?
it's the same thing. What he may see as disruptive, I may not, or you may not.
But he's the boss.
So I mean, if it's disruptive.
He's the
to what he's
superintendent.
doing,
If it's disrupting, so an employee comes to work here, and their job is to concentrate on their work. And for somebody to sit in an office for an hour at a time, visiting. I don't care if that person's still working, that is disrupting that work. Now, if that happens once a year, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you got two things. The person who you're sitting there talking to is not able to get their job done to the best of their ability. It has to be. No one can sit in an office with someone and you could do your work to the best of your ability. That's for sure. Okay, so you as a councilman should have the respect for that employee to not sit there and disrupt them for that long a period. If you can't get your point across in 15 minutes, then there's a big problem. Because there's nobody that has that much problems that you can't get your point across in 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So you should be able to walk in, get your point across, send them an email, give them a phone call, ask them if they have some time. But if you're discussing only city business at that time, I would agree, it's not disruptive. But when there's a group going on, and then it becomes 4 people in an office, you tell me that the person can work, can you work with 4 people in the office to the same ability as you can by yourself? That's disruptive, okay? So, I'm not saying that this particular, what I would hope to see, and what I would wish this council would do, is ask whoever's doing that, ask all council members, take a step back. Let the city employees do their job, okay? Believe in what's going on. If they don't do their job, then let's take care of them on that end. Let's fix them on that end. But give them opportunity to do their job. Don't circumvent what's going on. Don't undermine what's going on. It starts at the top. If Brian's department is not working properly, we gotta fix Brian. We gotta either fire Brian or make him do something different. We can't go fix it from the bottom. It'll never fix. We have to fix it from the top. That's our position. But we're not supposed to, in the 14 years that I've been here, we're not supposed to go, I've talked to Mike, I've talked to people who were underneath Kirk for many years, but I had the permission from him because I was getting to the point. I'm gonna call him, I'm gonna get to the point, he's gonna take care of it. Okay, so I would hope that the council would act and say, please, stop that, and let's get this thing, together and quit disrupting these employees, and as a warning. That's what I would hope. Ms. Avis, you're next.
The one thing I wanted to say, and I don't know how to say it without, I appreciate the fact that you wanna go and you wanna work with and make sure that your district looks great, and you wanna, get things going and everything. But I'm gonna go back to the first thing that Brian said when we talked about this, and it came down to me at City Hall. We don't need to be telling our employees, enjoy this check now because you're not gonna get another one. We need the positive
Bring
stuff
the
going.
employees and bring them here and say who I told it to. I mean, you saying that, Brian saying that, but when that was said? Bring that same employee that told you
In
that.
January.
Bring them all up here,
It was actually the end of January's payroll.
Okay,
I know when it was.
okay.
And I want you to understand that,
That's just one example.
that's it, yeah. And the other thing is, we gotta quit bringing in this north and south, this racial thing that we have going on.
That's what it is.
I know, but Evan, you're sitting up here and you're looking at me when I'm trying to hire an employee the first time that she's here. And you're gonna say, sure, hire the white lady instead of the black lady. How does that make our
When I
employees
say that.
feel?
When
When I hire Katie?
Oh, okay.
I would like you to point out one specific incident where I shortchanged the south side of town it hasn't happened since I've been.
Wait, hold on a second, I'm not quite done with my little statement here. So, I think we need to work together. You've got some great ideas, Edmond. You come in with some really good things, and then you turn around and you stab us in the back.
Oh.
We need to work on, well, if I go on and talking about, that I've got the city's finances screwed up, why do you wanna go and air the dirty laundry out? And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Edmund. Let's get together. It's up to you and me to get rid of this racial, up to us and the council to get rid of this racial divide, but you're not helping it. and you see, you're not willing to help
Help you
us.
out. Help you out, you don't.
It starts with the top and works
You
its
ready?
way down.
Cause I got enough, I'm done.
Anyway, I'm done. I just
So-
wanted to have that on the record.
So what's the recommendation of the?
Well, he gave you his recommendation, it's basically up to the council to decide if you want to send in any type
Well,
of.
we shouldn't be able to interrupt this progress, you see.
You should not be able to. We had a motion on the floor, the motion died for not a second, so my next motion that I want is to adjourn. I need a motion to.
I make the motion.
So, I mean, that's, we can stay here till 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. You only can, get what you're gonna get out of it. So, I'm gonna ask you please to handle yourself better. That's it. Simple. I have a motion to adjourn in a second. Got a motion, made by, go ahead.
With some discussion,
Go ahead.
I like to